What's going on, gentlemen? I'm back again with another video. In this one, I'm going to be talking about how semen retention has led me to the top of my office in less than 2 months in this new sales job that I've taken. Right? So, today is Sunday. It's Sunday morning. I still have to go into work. Right now, I'm at the top of the office, and I'm going to take home the crown today. Today's the final day of the leaderboard for the week, and I'm going to take it home. Right? I'm going to close another deal or two, extend my lead. If someone else closes a deal or two, they won't be able to catch me. Right? I'm far enough ahead already that there's only one guy who really has a legitimate opportunity to catch me. So the reason I want to talk about semen retention and how it pertains to this is the focus that your mind gets, right? That focus that your mind gets, the excess energy that you have, and the increased testosterone that you get, right? So first we'll talk about the focus. So the focus that's going on with this is, when you watch porn, I talked about it in my last video, really just when you jerk off in general, when you have sex, any of these things, your dopamine starts to get centered towards that thing, right? So your brain always adapts and learns, and your brain loves to seek things and then feel pleasure, right? So when you're watching porn, when you're jerking off, when you're having sex, whatever it is, you're training your brain to go to that thing to make you feel good, especially when you feel bad. Now, if you're going to do it with a woman, right? That's the best way. I actually recommend that. But you still have to have self-control, right? We've seen this with Self-Revealed, where he's had his wife, he's depended on her for these things and that things. He became kind of clingy and attached, and she has now moved away from him. She's lost respect for him and who he is because he's relying on her for something. So he's coming to her in an upset mood, whatever it is, and he's trying to escape that mood through her, right? So the reason I'm saying this is my friend and my roommate came home late last night, and I was wondering, I thought, well, he probably got a bitch, right? Because over the last week or two, he's been just off with girls almost every night. I didn't see him for about a week because he was staying in some girl's dorm room every night. It only lasted a week, right? Passion burned out. That's what happens when you do too much too quickly, right? And you don't have any self-control. So what he did last night was call a hooker. He paid a hooker $80. She was ugly. He said the hot hookers are $150. He didn't have enough money. He's not performed this week. He's closed 1 or 2 deals, small deals too, not good ones. I outperformed his entire week's performance yesterday in one day. So he did that, and then he told me this morning that he also jerked off, right? Feeling real bad. He's trying to escape everything. He's feeling terrible because he went to Florida a week or so ago, and he met a girl there who was supposed to fly up here this week, and he didn't have the money to get her a hotel room for 2 days, 2 nights. That's all she needed a hotel room for. He didn't have the money for it, so he was sad. He was sad about his low performance at work. He was sad that he didn't have the money to afford this girl coming up here. Apparently, she's a really good girl, right? And so he called a hooker to escape his sadness, and he jerked off to escape his sadness. He did all these things to escape his emotions and escape his sadness. Why did he do that? His brain has been trained through his own actions to go to orgasm to relieve stress. Go to orgasm to relieve negative emotions. So instead of finding a girl, he calls a hooker because it's easier. And he can have sex with a hooker that way, which I don't recommend doing. I've never done that. I imagine it's an extremely dirty feeling. I would rather jerk off than call a hooker, if I'm being honest. I think that would be, ugh. And the thing is when he came home last night, I could tell his vibe was off. He had a lot of shame on him. And then he jerked off too, right? So he's trained his brain, he's programmed himself that when times get hard, this is what I do to relieve it, right? Semen retention is going to train you that when times get hard, you just hold the fuck on. You just keep going. Day by day, one foot in front of the other, because eventually you're going to come out of it. And you're going to feel better, and everything will be fine, right? Everything always changes. In that moment, he couldn't see his way out of this negativity that he felt. And so he ran to something else, right? So, that training of your dopamine that goes on there, it hijacks your brain from being able to work, right? Because he was the top performer 2 weeks ago. What did he do with all that excess energy that he had from performing, closing deals, being at the top of the office and everything? What did he do? He went and spent all that energy on women, and now he's crashed, and he's at rock bottom today. Right? So this is why we do semen retention, so we don't have these ups and downs, right? When we have the downs, we understand what's going on and we just move through them. We have the strength and the stoicism to move through these things, to not get caught up in the waves of our emotions and what we feel. Even on the highs, right? I'm at the top of the office. I'm going to get to give a speech on Tuesday when we all go back into the office. I'm going to get a trophy and everyone's going to look at me. I'm going to have the floor for 5 minutes. I'm not even going to take the full 5 minutes. I'm not about to give some huge speech to everybody and everything, right? I'm just going to get up there. I'm going to say thank you to God, thank you to some other people, thank you to my haters in this office. Chef's kiss to you. You're the reason that this moment is extremely sweet. And I'm going to carry on. That's going to be the most dopamine I give myself, is shitting on my haters. I'm not about to go do some crazy stuff, right? I'll go get a girl's phone number because I feel good and I want a fucking woman, right? So this all comes down to your ability to focus. When your brain, like me, the only dopamine I get, literally the thing every single day that makes me feel better than anything else that I do, is meditating and eating food. Working out. Those are the things that make me feel better than anything else. Moving my body, eating food, and meditating. I don't do anything else that gives me a large amount of dopamine and makes me feel good. So I'm extremely focused on work because I know that work and making that money is going to free me up. My brain goes to work for dopamine. There's really nothing else I can do. The coffee's pretty good for it, right? But other than that, I don't do anything else that really gives me a lot of dopamine. I get my dopamine from work. I want to sell stuff more than everyone else around me. So it's given me what is a seeming focus, right? Seemingly focused. No, I was focused before this happened. I was focused on disciplining myself through semen retention, through a healthy diet, through quitting drugs and alcohol, so that I could be here, so that I could work, right? That's when the focus began. The focus began back then. Now what you're seeing is just the end result of all of it, that I've just trained myself. I've patterned my brain this way now, that this is where I get my dopamine. This is where I feel good. So secondly, I want to talk about the energy that you get, right? Of course, when you're retaining it, you get a lot more energy and you become a lot more magnetic, right? So when I'm at work, one thing that people who have worked with me notice is I'm really, really good at getting people to stop and listen to me. I can't close every deal. I can't beat the price that everyone has. It's just not possible, right? But I have become so good at getting people to just stop and give me the time of day to tell them what I am selling. And so that's just opening up opportunities for me over and over and over again. And a lot of this just comes down to that energy that I have that most people don't have. Most people don't have this level of energy in life because they're always bleeding their life force out through sex, masturbation, whatever it is, right? So women naturally are stopping. They're listening to me. I sell to women a lot because they always want that masculine energy. They always want to feel that masculine charge. It makes them feel alive. It makes them feel special. It makes them feel good to have some of your attention. So they spend money with me just because they're getting attention, right? The same thing is she'll sleep with you just because, right? And then she feels bad about it the next day. I'm selling women on this stuff, and I'm sure some of them get buyer's remorse afterwards, right? But that's just how ladies are. Men want to come around and talk to me because they respect me. They like me. They say, this guy's got some good energy. This is a nice young man. This is a cool young man. I respect him. So they'll stop and listen to me, right? So I get all these opportunities just because I have this excess energy. Sometimes people will walk by staring at me, or they'll just walk up to me, and I close deals that way. Where I work and what I do, a lot of people get a lot of negativity from others, right? It's sales. Sales is hard to not get negative because you hear no over and over and over again, right? So you have to trick your brain to understand that the no is just, okay, cool, that person was a waste of time, on to the next one, right? That person wasn't right for me, on to the next one so I can find the right person. You have to trick your brain in that way. But most people are lacking so much energy because they're not retaining their sexual energy like I am. They're not eating healthy. They're not working out. They're not meditating. They don't have these disciplines. So I've got more energy than most people. Most people don't understand what energy is. They think it's drinking a coffee and being like, la, 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 la. Right? It's not. I'm drinking coffee right now. I'm on my third cup. And I'm speaking with energy, but it's still controlled and tailored. I'm still able to communicate a point to y'all and tell y'all exactly what's going on. And that's because I have this energy inside of me. This energy is the reason that people are coming to me. People are coming to talk to me to see what I've got. I had one guy, I was pitching one guy, and I had another guy walk up right after I finished. That guy told me no, and another guy walked up with a smile on his face, light in his eyes, and said, hey, what kind of deal do y'all have going on? And I sold him, closed him right there. All it was energy. He saw me, recognized I was good vibes, and what do you know? This guy was a martial arts instructor. He was a martial arts instructor, very confident in himself. I knew there was something about him. I knew there was just something about him that was just, he was so kind. And he was a very loving guy, and he was very self-confident. He didn't have to show it. You could just tell he had this confidence from within. And he was a martial arts instructor. So, of course, that's kind of what goes on when I'm selling. People with super low confidence don't really want to talk to me. I have a hard time selling them. People that are having a good day and people that are more confident and stuff, those are the people that I sell to, which is what you want, right? You want to be able to sell to these people so you have a positive interaction. So then when they leave, not only did you close a deal, but you had a positive interaction with someone else. So you're getting all this, like, you just feel good. You're just like, yeah, man, like, I love that person. That was awesome. That was great. And I made some money too. Like, let's fucking go. Let's have another positive interaction. So the snowball goes, right? Snowball effect, domino effect. So the final thing we'll talk about is the extra testosterone that you get from retaining. So when it comes to life in general, your body is always going to produce exactly what it needs. So if you put yourself in a very comfortable place, your testosterone is going to drop. Your dopamine is going to drop. Everything is going to drop about you because you haven't put yourself in a place where you need this stuff, where you need these chemicals to keep you going, right? So you want to get to a place to where you're challenging yourself, so your body starts producing testosterone, where you're competing with other people, so it produces more testosterone, where you're getting a reward from winning, so you produce more dopamine, so you go out into the world, right? Because long-term semen retention will lower your testosterone. It'll raise it short-term, but long-term, it's going to be lower because your body is not being told to produce it. Unless you live in a very competitive environment, unless you have a very competitive mindset, which is what you need to adopt if you want to do semen retention long-term. You have to have an extremely competitive mindset. You don't even need to live in a competitive environment. You need to be a competitive person. You need to wake up earlier than all of your enemies, than all of your friends. You need to grind harder than everyone you know. Anyone that you would meet during the day, you need to know that you grind harder than them. That's the type that's the type of mindset that you need to adopt in order to keep your testosterone up when you're retaining. The reason I say this is because if you're not talking to women and interacting with women that you don't know, interacting with women in a sexual manner, if you're not doing that, your body is not being told to produce extra testosterone to attract her. Your body's not being told to produce extra testosterone so that you can reproduce, right? That element goes away. So, if you're going to completely write women off, you have to adopt an extremely competitive mindset. It's the only other logical conclusion to keep your testosterone high. The competition is going to raise it more than just talking to women. Having that mindset of being extremely competitive is going to be better for your testosterone than women, right? So that's where I'm at. I am so competitive that I don't spend time with women. I want a woman. I want a girlfriend up here in New York. I'm going to go out and talk to some women, get some phone numbers, and go on some dates, right? But she's not getting a lot of my time because my main thing that makes me feel good is where I'm at right now, where I'm winning in the office, where I'm dominating the other men around me. That's what makes me feel good. That's what gives me fulfillment. It's not picking you up. It's not having sex with you. That shit is too easy. You girls are way too fucking easy, right? I'd probably feel good if I got a woman in a burqa. That would make me feel good because she's difficult. But it really wouldn't because she wants to be out of that shit, right? So it's like, I've already played that game. That game's already over. It's too fucking easy, right? I could just pay a woman. I could pay a hooker like my friend. You don't even have to do that. Take her to McDonald's and she'll blow you. So that extra testosterone that you get is going to make people want to be around you. It's going to make people respect you. That's the biggest thing. Is it's going to give you status and it's going to make people respect you. It's going to force them to have respect for you. That respect is so good for your mindset, so good for your confidence that people respect you as a man. That's what's going to make you a self-confident man, is having that respect for yourself and making sure that everyone else around you respects you. That added testosterone is going to draw people towards you. We all know when you're retaining how women interact with you, how they look at you, how they feel about you, how they feel around you and stuff. It all comes down to that higher level of testosterone. They love it, they feel it, they want it, right? Men are going to respect you when you have that higher level of testosterone. So gentlemen, make sure you retain for these 3 reasons: for the added focus, for the added energy, and for the added testosterone that you get. Discipline yourself so you can actually become a winner in life. Like the video, comment what you think, subscribe to the channel. Have a good one.